live and out in the streaming audience. Good to see y'all. Welcome. We are the AEW by Jazwares team. I'm Gregory Mitchell, the Vice President of Global Brand, and when I was a kid, I didn't even know that was actually a job title. And I'm flanked here by some of the best, hardest working, most passionate people in the business. Daniel Jung.
I'll introduce myself. Hi, I'm Daniel Jung, Brand Manager for AEW.
And real quick down the line.
I'm Chris Metzger, the Senior Director of Packaging Design.
Eric Yanovich, I'm a Product Director.
Magic Olmos, Senior Designer, Product.
Daniel Friedman, and I'm a Product Designer.
Thank you, gentlemen. Everyone gets to see your faces and know your names. And we're going to kick it off with Magic. He's going to take us through how the magic is made, literally and figuratively.
Awesome. Thanks for the introduction, Greg. So the very first step of design is the concept. And this is the phase where we figure out exactly what we're trying to do, we're trying to make. We start by doing like a deep dive with photo reference. We go in, and for this one specifically, a Ring of Honor, Bryan Danielson, we went like pretty hard and trying to find some really cool looks and try to bring something pretty exclusive and nice here. But the big thing with concept designing is you want to tell a story. So each figure has a story that's encapsulated in all the accessories, the robes, the outfits, the facial expressions, everything kind of pieces together to tell one cohesive story. So from there, we start to do concept illustrations and orthographic views. Click through. So this basically tells us exactly what the figure is going to look like and how, in each angle, how every piece of the design is going to come out. This is like early planning, rough concepts, and from there we start doing color and start adding color to all this, and then call out the accessories and show exactly what it's coming with. So this one's going to come with a really nice soft good robe, really encapsulating his look in Ring of Honor, the American Dragon, bringing a unique look that has not come to the market yet. Really special Bryan Danielson, Ring of Honor.
So after we pull all that information together, it's very critical that we pull together documentation to then share that with factories and the rest of the team, make sure we're all signing off, doing the right stuff, right quality, right level of articulation. So again, you'll see those same kind of images repeated again, and then we clarify even how does the hand hold the microphone. All those details are just critically important to make sure that we get what we want out of that product.
Like anything, like surgery, city planning, the devil's in the details, right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all accounted for in this document. And then from there, we start our sculpting process. We use those orthographic views, we hand them over to our sculpting vendors, and then we start to actually put it into 3D, and we use 3D modeling to create these nice figures.
Anyone else levitate? What just happened?
So the sculpting phase is really all about like a balance of form and function, because we want the figures to look aesthetically really nice and pleasing, but we also need them to function and have really good range of motion. Because the play pattern for these is you want them to be able to pose and hit all kinds of iconic moves and really like dynamic angles. So it has to look really good, look just like the person, but also has to be engineered to be a functional toy and be actually producible and moldable. So it's like a nice fine balance we try to find there. One of the really key things with figures is the facial likeness. So we use a lot of really cool technology to ensure that we get the best likenesses possible. And one of the main attractions here is the 3D scanning. So we actually go in with scanning guns and literally scan all around everybody's head and get every single minute detail in there. And from there, we're able to just start with a really base, like rough.
Wait, what the?
Oh my God.
Whoa!
Oh, hey.
Oh my God, it's a human action figure.
It's a human. A real human.
Whoa!
Hey, how's it going?
Starrcast, check it out. We have the American Dragon right here in person. Wow. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you
What a-
guys for having me.
Surprise, pleasure, and honor. And look at that beautiful face.
Oh my gosh. Face only a mother could love, and potentially my kids.
And millions of fans.
Yeah.
Wow, welcome.
Yeah,
So,
thanks for having me.
This is a nice audible. We love when this kind of thing happens, right?
So we were just talking about 3D scanning, and I'm sure
Yep.
you've had it done plenty of times by now.
Yes. Yeah, so the 3D scanning is really weird when you do it. It's like you're standing there and you just have to, okay, but it's incredible, the likeness and everything. And for me, one of the coolest things to me, and especially because Tony bought all the licensing stuff for Ring of Honor, is the Ring of Honor stuff, right? Like, because for me, we didn't have resources when I was in Ring of Honor for any of that. So it was, to see it now, and that was one of my favorite parts of my career. To have that is super cool.
Awesome. We're really happy to bring to life finally a Ring of Honor figure of American Dragon.
Yeah.
And Danielson. So just going over, the 3D model or 3D scan isn't the end all be all, isn't something we can just take to mass market. We have to actually go in and start massaging the details, adding a lot of artistry to it, fixing the face, ensuring the likeness is truly there, doing all the hair strands, all the beards, getting to really all the minute details to ensure the 3D sculpt looks exactly like you, and it's a beautiful idealized.
My wife would say that you're missing my nose hair, which she would say, I wish your nose hair that wasn't there, but I am not somebody who wants to be waxed.
Well, now we know what to do for the unrivaled Supreme version. All the details.
With added nose
All
hair.
the nose hairs. As an Italian American, I know your pain.
Yes.
And by the way, don't be worried. That Voldemort stage of the head scan will never be released in plastic.
Okay.
And that happens to everybody.
Well, when I see the green thing there, and you were doing it, and it was what made me think of it is it was going over my nose, and I was like, oh no, I hope they're not adding the nose hair.
Now we know. But yeah, so from here, once we have the base model, we could change the expression. We can make lots of different facial expressions from the one. And once we're happy with it, we're able to submit to AEW, who will finally give us final approval, or maybe they'll have more comments. Maybe they'll show you guys. You guys have comments, and we'll implement all of those into our model.
Where's the nose hair, etc.
I demand nose hair.
And then from there, we'll kick it off while we're doing this to the deco part, to our deco expert, Daniel.
Thank you, Magic. So in this phase, we get some really, really great high-res images from AEW, so we can recreate all the artwork, all the tattoos, the DIJ face printing, the hair color, all the different colors that actually go into the figure as well, like the knee pads, the kick pads. And from there, we can even move on to the robe and recreate all of the details in the robe. We create these vector files in Adobe Illustrator so we can get the best likeness on your figure, depending on size as well.
And so it's really cool because, I don't know a lot of this stuff that you guys are talking about as far as and it's super cool for me to see it and hear it. But for example, that robe, it blows me away that you would have a high-res image of that robe, because that was something that I had made in 2007 or whatever, so it's incredible that because I'm looking at it, so it's the idea, the basis behind this robe is you see the dragon, you see the globe, you see the American flag. So it's the American dragon. It's this idea of, I was calling myself the best in the world at the time, and people would chant that. So that's the whole basis behind that robe. It was never, I may have worn it once in WWE on NXT, and they're like, we don't like that. We don't call you the American Dragon here. And I was like, oh, okay. But it's so incredible, and that's fascinating that you're able to get those images.
And Dan is being humble. We don't always have the highest resolution.
Exactly.
He recreates that from kind of grainy cell phone photos. Or
so there would be many
available.
times where I'd have to do my own research for hours on end, looking for actual images, going into videos of the past matches that you had in Ring of Honor and everything to try to get the best actual image that I can.
How many times did you run into searching for American Dragon robe? Did you get the American Dragon Jake Long? Because there was that Disney.
There've been a few times.
Okay.
It's no, I'm looking for the specific robe. But
right. Yeah.
And the commitment this team has
Few
too.
times.
As a wrestling fan, for years you'd appreciate this. We've even been on the phone for 3-hour stretches waiting for some poor, big-hearted but overworked guy at PWI to go through literally cardboard boxes that are stacked, not probably to OSHA standards or to fire alarm standards. Going, I think that one picture is under the Playboy Buddy Rose picture. Hold on, or wait, no, hold on. Second Playboy Buddy Rose reference, of course.
And you know what? Which is fascinating.
I
just went through. I'm going through a big period of revisiting Portland wrestling type stuff. So I'm deep into the Buddy Rose stuff right now. So it's interesting that you bring it up. I just read a biography on him, like shortly after his death, yesterday. So it's
I believe in vibrations. I believe
synchronicities.
I believe in synchronicities, and shout out
the
to Buddy Rose.
synchronicities of the world. Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes the reference eludes us, and that's how the lengths we go to. Like we literally sit there going through cardboard boxes, inhaling like cardboard dust from 30 years, and hope to God that somebody still has the rights to the picture and we can use it.
Wow. I have so many questions, but that will get us off track. Okay, continue.
So I hit on a DIJ in the last slide, but this one, what the DIJ process is the direct inkjet paint application. So what we do here is, with those high-res images that we have, we put all the detail that we absolutely can in terms of the beard, every hair follicle in the beard, all the eye
nose hair
detail.
stage.
And
take
this
note.
is exactly where we can add the nose hair into your future figures if you would like.
Can I give you guys some constructive criticism here when you do the scans? Mostly we make faces, we do all these different things as you guys do the scans. We all have varying degrees of nose hair, so maybe there needs to be a direct scan of like where we're doing that.
We're gonna put a big burst on packaging that says it.
And
Extreme nose hair scan.
I think the next time you do rounds of pictures and images, you guys should start closing like that so we can get the fine detail.
Speedy, give me a light bounce on my nostrils there.
Yeah, let's see what he's got up there.
There you go. And then, as you can see here, we can then add those on to the actual 3D head sculpt to get all the fine details, all the nooks and crannies in there to make it exact to your likeness as well.
So I have to say, you guys made my hair look much better than it actually did during that time period. I could never make it. There were pictures. I saw pictures where it looked like that, and I was like, how do I get it to look like that every day so I actually appear handsome? Yeah, it's
And then from here, we move on to
What's going on?
What?
Oh boy.
Oh, this guy. He's probably doing a counter-program panel down the hall today like he was yesterday. What a switch.
So, unfortunately, since this is one of our biggest phases within the deco process, because there are a lot of wrestlers who have very highly detailed tattoos, you, unfortunately, for us, you don't have that much detail, which is fine, but for some of the people who do, this phase is where we really shine in terms of getting the actual likeness of every single tattoo, and with those high-res images from the other ones, we can really hone in on all the details that are in these specific tattoos. Where there's a lot of wrestlers, Brody King, Danhausen, Malachi Black, who have very intricate tattoos. So this is one of my passions, and I dedicate a lot of time to making sure that I get every single tattoo down to a T.
From a fan perspective, they'd probably get a better grasp of what their tattoos actually look like by looking at the action figure than you can actually watching them on TV or even meeting them in person, right? From this, because I'm looking at this and I've never actually, I've talked to Danhausen. I don't like doing it, but you don't, when you're speaking with somebody or you're around somebody, you're not necessarily paying attention to the exact details of the tattoo, and especially when they have so many. So I would imagine that would be the case. Like you could actually, yeah.
Look how annoying that face is even without deco. Oh, there's a deco.
Yeah.
Here's a little impromptu question. So tattoos, like myself included, what about the wrestlers that have like what do you call like licensed art, right? Like a soft drink logo or a band mascot or band logo that's heavily trademarked on T-shirts.
So we do our best to try to manipulate it so it gets the same aesthetics, the same looks, without really having any like negative space or empty space where it would be. There are times where we have done that on certain figures, and there are a few times where we just can't get around it because it's just so detailed in that specific copyright. You just got to sort of change it up a little bit, but we try to make sure that we get everything almost as accurate as possible.
Well, the executive team and the legal team at Jazwares thanks you for that.
Thank you.
Back to the
There
race.
we go.
Now we-
Ooh, that was an aberration.
Yeah,
that was clearly a pirate signal. We're back to the real.
Yeah, so I would say I have never had abs that are in the figure, like those kind of abs, but Danhausen certainly has never had the abs that you guys gave him. So I'm glad we're back to a more realistic, at least, physique.
Back to the real world.
Yeah.
Now we're going to move on to the tooling model phase, which will hand it back over to Eric.
Yeah, so after we've done all of that sculpting, after Dan's done his magic with all of the artwork, we then 3D print. We output the model to make sure size, scale, articulation, everything fits, everything's just working perfectly. Sometimes we'll do that with just FDM, like at-home consumer products, just to be able to get a good fit, good feel for it. After that point, we then go to specifically a tooling model. For anybody that doesn't know that process of plastic injection, we actually have to cut into steel that final sculpt. That's a process that's rather expensive, time-consuming, and we have to get that right. So we do these models to make sure that that's absolutely perfect.
What do you do with the steel? Like, what is it cut for?
It's cut like the negative cavity, so that when you inject it with plastic, that cavity is what fills and gives you the head or the bicep or the
Hot
the
plastic.
foot.
Did you have you ever played Halo? Did you realize that you were ever a member of the Flood there? Look at the tentacles and weird drips coming off of you.
I'm going to be honest. I have no concept of what you're talking about.
And that's why you're the best in the world. You concentrate on your craft, and you're not like these nudniks out there on the Halo servers.
No distractions.
Yeah.
So after we have that model approved internally, we're good to go. We go to steel, and then at that point, we're ready for mass production. Almost.
And then, so the first shot is the first tooling model that we see, like in hand. It's the actual thing shot with the injected pieces that he talked about. It's the first time we actually get the figure in hand. It's something that's made at the factory. We get to test the articulation. We get to see what's wrong with it, if it has loose joints or extra flash, too much plastic, or anything wrong with it. This is the time to call it out and make sure like the model and figure is working exactly how it is, test the range of motion, make sure every part's working and moving correctly.
And I've worked at a bunch of toy companies. This is one of those critical stages where cost cutting or schedule concerns can eat into things, but this team here, I'm so proud to work with them. That's never a case with us. Like, we never let anything slip by that where you can't pose them right or you can't make them feel like you want to be seen, on someone's shelf or in a kid's hands. Like, we make sure that this stage never gets skipped or glossed over. It can't be said for every company out there.
Yeah. And normally they're shot in kind of wacky colors, like whatever plastic colors they have on hand, they come out like that. But this one, they just happen to be skin tone and red, so got a little lucky.
I want a green or yellow version of this guy. That would be great, though.
Actually, I think I have Claudio in my pocket.
Oh my gosh.
He came out and he's yellow. He's made out of cheese, so it's kind of fun.
Oh, my God. Is it Swiss cheese?
It's
SpongeBob.
It's
I got two
odd.
chuckles for that one. Thank you, guys.
It's odd because for like me and Danhausen, I thank you guys for making us a little more muscular than we actually are. For Claudio, he's actually less muscular than he is. But that's, just because he's the strongest man alive.
Here you are.
That is so
Nice and
cool.
buff.
Yeah.
First bald head figure, I think. Or maybe
Yeah.
maybe you had one in the past.
I don't think I had one in the past, at least not that I'm aware of. So, fun story. I love having my head shaved. Why I do not have my head shaved is because my wife hates shaved heads. And so, yeah, if it were up to me, I would look like this. But if it's up to my wife, I'd look like this. Yeah, actually, this is exactly the length of hairstyle that she would like.
Yeah.
It's like a medium length, like that sort of thing. Not as long as it is now, but
Like a Zac Efron from High School Musical.
yes.
So the nose hair is really a compromise.
Yeah, the nose hair is a
If
compromise.
this all stays, then so does the nose hair.
Right, yes.
That's marriage in a nutshell, guys.
It is marriage in a
It's a
nutshell.
negotiation.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
I think we also hit our limit on nose hair jokes for the panel. So
Yeah. So I stopped bringing them up because I was aware of that. But then you kept doing it, so I was like, okay, if they want to run with it, I'll
You're
go.
a good collaborator.
I'll do it. Yeah. I'm never one to put down anybody else's jokes until it gets brought up. So
Sweet. And then from there, we go into the EP phase. And this is the first time we see the fully colored production version of the figure. Lots of times there's tons of notes. We put so much effort in the forefront to make these things perfect, but when they come back, we want to ensure that they stay true to our vision. So we have a lot of corrections we have to make. You can see on this one, the eyebrows are out of place, the hairline's a little messed up, the hair's wrong color, or the head's placed too high on the body. There's a variety of issues we constantly face to try to ensure the figures are looking exactly the way we need them to look and carry out that vision.
are you guys doing a Colton gun action figure?
Let's talk about it. Okay.
Okay.
I don't want to spill any secrets.
If you are you making sure his neck is incredibly small compared to the rest of his body? Because that's a big feature of Colton Gunn.
We strive for that kind of accuracy.
And then we move to the final sample, which is the FEP, and this is the time when all the comments should be implemented, everything should be close to perfect as possible. If there's any last-minute comments that are small, we can make them at this phase. And you can see it's the previous Wave 5 unmatched Danielson here because the current Vault version isn't quite there yet, still in production. But it'll have unique packaging and Vault packaging, which will lead us into our next stuff with Chris Metzger.
Oh. Yeah, thank you guys.
This is
so cool. Like the work that you guys do is just incredible. And
Thank you.
And yeah, it's been an honor to even just be able to be here to hear it. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to give you guys this back.
Take it with you wherever you go. It makes for an interesting show. Yes. Before we get into packaging, because packaging is going to be a very important hallmark of what you see here on the screen, the Vault. Jazwares has a brand new direct-to-consumer initiative. Very fancy words way of saying it's a direct website where you guys can order special, one-of-a-kind exclusives and special editions, even above and beyond the kind of exclusives and special editions that we're known for doing for the last 3 or 4 years on AEW. We'll be teaching you guys more about the Vault as we do more release info, but keep that in mind because when you see our packaging beauty and the extra mile that the packaging team and the product team goes to make Vault items truly collectible and truly unique, this is why we do it.
Thanks, Greg. So one of our first initiatives for the Vault is our Ring of Honor series. I believe we announced that a while back. So what I'm going to do today is going to take you through the design process for packaging, right? So we start out with a mood board. What is a mood board? We go through the colorways, fonts that we'd like to use, perhaps like an aesthetic for graphics or illustrations. And this is super helpful. This is our visual roadmap that we take through the process to make sure that everything's on brand and turns out the way we want it. So typically we'll share this out with the brand team, get their comments, and then we'll share it out with the licensor. In this case, we shared it out with the AEW folks.
And Metz, can you educate us a little bit on what like a mood board means for the people who don't necessarily?
Yeah, sure. Like I said, it's sort of like the visual roadmap, right? So we'll determine what the overall brand colorway is. And what I mean by that, the colorway, we'll go do some comp or competitive research at retail or who's doing what with, various other, wrestling figure items, and not always wrestling figure items, but just action figures in general, right? So what color space can we own at a retail? What will set it apart on the collector's shelf, right? So then, like I said, we'll take the fonts and we'll look at the fonts that sort of match up with the aesthetic we're looking for, and particularly for Ring of Honor. Back to Greg's point, we didn't have the luxury of looking through 30 years of cardboard boxes, right? So we thought, in order to keep visual integrity and maintain a look across the line, that rather than photographs, we're going to do illustrations. So when we first start out, we want to determine like what the packaging structure is going to be. A lot of times we kind of look for inspiration from the overall look of the brand. Is there a little Easter egg or something there that we can use that calls back to the actual branding? In this case for ROH, we took the O logo and kind of adapted that to the packaging structure itself.
It's very evocative of the Ring of Honor logo, but it also makes it look separate and different from, say, like AEW Unrivaled or Unmatched or any of the other packages you work on, right?
Yep. Exactly. Yep.
Great talk.
And then we go through in this case, like I said, we decided upon illustration. So we work with a very talented illustrator named Melanie Coleman, super talented.
Mel Coleman Art on Instagram.
Yeah.
Mel Coleman Art.
Yep, Mel Coleman Art on Instagram. Follow So we go through a couple iterations of the illustration. So we'll start out with a pencil, kind of figure out like what gesture we want to use, what's the pose, just a real quick kind of composition that we go through. And from there, we'll go to a rough color, kind of color blocking, block out what we want to add most detail to, especially like on the grunge pattern in the background, which was part of the mood board. How do we incorporate that in a meaningful way? And then finally, we go to final art. And then you can see between the two, rough color, if you notice the hand positions are a bit different because it's like, oh, hey, we can move this up. I think it wasn't quite the gesture that Danhausen always does. So along the way, we make final or little tweaks here and there to even enhance the final one more so. And then we incorporate all those elements from the mood board into the final package design. And one things when we consider, this is how we design a package. It's in a flat type of format, so we have to figure out like, all right, what the side panel is going to look like, what the back panel is going to look like, what the primary panel is going to look like.
So it prints like that out of the printer, and then like someone has to like actually turn it into a box.
Yeah. So basically, they'll print these in mass quantities in Asia, and then they die cut it, and at the factory level, they'll fold it up, put a blister in there, pack it up, put it in a case pack, and then throw it in a container and send it out to a warehouse.
Do you design the container as well? I'm just playing.
These are like super intricate. Like looking at this flat thing, I'm so impressed you guys figured out these structures every time. It's like so mathematical. My mind just like, how do you guys do that? I have no clue.
It's magic.
Yeah, you guys are awesome.
Touche.
And then from that, like I said, after it comes out of production, this is the final package. In this instance, we got a lot of questions or comments on social. Oh, it's a closed package, just like Mattel's doing, blah, blah, blah. Why are they doing a closed package? It's not a closed package. It actually is an outer sleeve that slides off to show the figure inside the package.
That's nice. It looks really slick. Really great for displaying too. Like you display it with the slipcover on, but off, it looks like just a beautiful figure without like marketing and branding junk all over it. That's beautiful.
Yep. Oh, we should have put the nose hair sticker on there, but
Nose hair moratorium has not been lifted. Please comply, or he will come back and get you.
And one great thing about the vault items, right? So I know you collectors out there, you go to the other major D2C sites, and you get a package, and it may be wrapped up in some bubble wrap or craft paper, and then thrown on the closest size box possible, and then shipped to your home. A lot of times it gets dinged up, banged up. So we really keep the collector in mind here, right? So we want to get it from the factory, as pristine as it is, to the collector's home, right? So we're going through great lengths here. So we have now this secondary packaging where we take the item package itself, we'll put on these custom-sized corner protectors, and that in turn goes in a graphically themed, on-brand outer packaging, and that in turn goes to a custom-sized shipping carton that gets mailed to the consumer. So again, we're taking all those.
Box.
Yeah.
This is very next level too with the branding. I mean, this feels like something that you would spend a lot of money on, like at a Comic-Con or some sort of convention.
Yeah.
And this is just literally, click add to cart and send it to my house. That's the kind of level of care we put into this, right?
Exactly. Yep.
That's lovely. I've got a lot of bent up figures on card before, dog-eared corners of boxes, and it takes the joy out of the purchase, and it makes you feel like there's just a bunch of hands that touch the product before you get it who maybe don't care. You guys have taken that out of the equation here, which is beautiful.
Yep. Happy to do it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. Happy to do it.
You're gonna be a very busy man folding all those boxes by yourself.
So here's a preview at another vault item, Death Triangle.
More innovation.
Yep. So again, as we talked about before, mood boards. We take in the logo, what the overall aesthetic is going to be. For this particular execution, we opted for sort of a tone-on-tone, very minimal yet upscale execution of the branding and of the packaging. We'll have a lot of spot varnishes, some embossing, that type of thing.
Upscale execution was my finishing move in wrestling school. Did you know that?
Nice. Again, and then we draw from for packet. We want to make the packaging structure meaningful, right? We just don't want to do, a rectangular box or just a run-of-the-mill blister card. So for this particular one, we took inspiration from the logo and the triangle there, right? So the top image on the right-hand side is the items folded up with a slipcover over top of it. And what's great about it, when you take the slipcover off, you can fold them out to the figures, display them 3 across while maintaining the triangular theme. And here's a quick video of how this thing unfolds. Oop.
The Death Triangle will not be captured on film.
Death Bermuda Triangle, more like it. So again, if we go, we'll take you through the packaging design again. If we remember back to the mood board, very very monochromatic but higher end, simplistic design with varnishes and embossings and those types of things. And again, this was one of those things that was kind of challenging to figure out, right? What's the structure going to be like? Flat when it's folded up, it's going to look like this previous image. So there was a lot of back and forth. Kudos to our Asia team, KK Luck and Patrick Chang. They just worked, and there's like kind of pushed back. I don't know if we can do it. We don't, but they saw it through, and the end result is something I think probably hasn't been out there, structure-wise, right?
I think their initial reaction is, "Why are you so crazy, Chris?" We should just justify that claim. There's probably not been a packaging like this ever.
Exactly.
What are you doing to us, Chris? I think was another direct quote from Smart Sheets. There it is.
And here's a look of the final package sleeve. Yeah.
It's so austere and so sophisticated looking, yet so dope.
And then this is sort of our version of Supreme, but on the Vault platform for Malachi Black. Again, start with the mood board. I think this whole sophisticated, less is more design execution is pretty fitting for House of Black. This packaging structure, again, this has 2 panels that open up. We can show all the items and accessories that come with. And again, the final packaging design. So in the upper left would be the box itself, and then the bottom right are the 2 panels for the packaging itself.
It's like the black metal album box set I always wanted.
Exactly.
I'm in love with this.
Could be none more black. And there's a look at the final packaging.
Beauty. I mean, beauty. Beautiful work. You and your team do gorgeous packaging. No one in the business, I think, touches you guys as far as your quality and workmanship. So
yeah, thanks, Greg. And a big shout out to my team, especially Steve and my Asia counterparts, and Kevin Tully and the brand team who keeps us honest and pushes us, and the product team that.
Yeah, we have additional product team members here. This is really only half of our team. We have Ray Rivera, Walter De Leon back in the office. Yesterday they were holding that down while we're here preparing for this. So shout out to them. And also our US PD team as well that really takes the documentation that we have, all of our comments, all of our notes, and really make sure that the Asia teams can then implement that and do it on time and on budget.
The PD team is definitely the glue of our team that keeps everything together, so shout out to them for sure.
So the answer to the question of how many knuckleheads does it take to screw in an action figure light bulb? Many, and we need all of them. We need each other, and we're all grateful. I think key takeaways here are, I hope you see the passion, the creativity, the diligence, the doggedness, and the love that goes into making these figures from every level. The paper, plasticky window things that envelop them, and we call packaging, to the hot plastic mess that gets shot into a mold and then made into perfect miniature human versions of of our favorite superstars. And it's also hard work. I hope you guys see the meticulous detail and the passion and the fingerprints that go all over these things. It's a beautiful job. It's a fun job. We're blessed to have it, but it's also a hard job. So, hopefully you guys get that insight. You see not only what goes into it, but also, occasionally we announce a figure in a wave, and then 6 months later that figure's not in the wave anymore. It's not because we don't care. It's not because we were being mean, or because we hate high-flying wrestlers or women wrestlers or any of the horrible things you see on message boards. It's because this is a very complicated business that's very reflective of wrestling, which is a very complicated business. But we love it. We never give up, and we always do the best we can to make sure you guys have the figures and the collectibles that you really wish to have. And you've been very supportive of us in that respect, so thank you. And the second key takeaway is Vault. This is a very special project for us. You're going to see Squishmallows on there. You're going to see Pokemon, Halo. You're going to see All Elite Wrestling. So this is a very special project for our company to really, we've learned what other collector companies do, how they super serve and underserve you guys. You all buy more than wrestling figures, right? You all are into Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, Marvel Legends. We've taken key learnings there to make sure that we give you guys the best of the best, and that we always learn from our mistakes or proactively plan to avoid them. And the Vault's going to also be a really cool home for AEW in a way that none of those other brands I mentioned can do, in that we're going to be offering Ring of Honor. You're also going to get a pipeline of really newer, cooler exclusives we never announced before in single packs, double packs, and more. And then again, just showing where we always put our money where our mouth is. We always listen to you, the fans. For the recently, I think during San Diego Comic-Con, we released that strategy where we're going to get more talent in the roster onto figures. We introduced another new Chase version of figures that you can go out to Walmart, Target, Ringside, GameStop and get them. We heard that there was some concern that, there's only 5,000 of the bunny, or there's only 5,000 branded colors. How will I ever get one? The Vault's also going to be a home to answer that as well. So for every edition that we put out as a Chase out there in the market, a Bunny, a Brandon Cutler, an Alex Reynolds, you're going to also have a chance to get them at the Vault too, so where they're actually going to have as many versions of them out there as your regular stars on the roster too. So we're not going to shortchange any talent, and we're not going to certainly shortchange any of the collectors. So more news on that to come. Check out at AEW by Jazwares on Instagram. We'll always give you the freshest news and always the freshest figures. Did we hit our time limit, or are we?
Thank you everyone for joining us today, and thank you design team and packaging team for educating us on just all the details that go into this work. So we greatly appreciate it.
And unlike skipping the movie scroll just to wait for the special sneak peek footage at the end of a movie, do indeed take a look at this scroll here. Like all the people here on this list here help put those figures into your hands, and they love what they do. So we thank you for that opportunity and that blessing.
Yep. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you guys. Thanks for coming.
But we want to bring in, again, the Jazwares team because, come on in, because, hold on, I have to see my favorite here, MJF. All right, is he going to yell at me? He might. So this is MJF. Here, come on in. Oh, no, you dropped the title. All right, this is MJF. And this is the official action figure.
And with Orange Cassidy, who's also part of the 4-pack, it includes the International Championship belt for the first time as well. So these are all brand new figures that we just announced yesterday at Starrcast.
That's really exciting. Can you talk a little bit about what it's like to get so you all probably can't see this at home, but there's a huge display here at Starrcast. It's amazing. You can see all of the detail. And what's beautiful about these, I feel like I'm on the Home Shopping Network a little bit. Oh, I thought I almost knocked MJF's head off, but he's good. Hold on, I'm trying to hold this here. So the detail of the AEW belt is really beautiful. Can you talk about how you I know you discussed that on this panel that just concluded, but share with everyone at home a little bit more about what it takes to make the casting of that belt.
So the AEW, we get the files directly from the belt makers as well. And they give us all the details of the belt, and then our design team is able to get all the little, like the little pieces here, like if you see like each of these different metal pieces has all the icons as well as all the textures here as well. So it's really authentic to everything. And if you want to.
We have too many things in our hand right now. Well, this is so exciting. Thank you so much. And remember, you can go back and watch all of the Starrcast events on Premier Streaming Network. And thank you so much for joining us today. And check out all of the action figures at Starrcast. And thank you so much. Enjoy and go check that out. Danhausen as well.
AEW by Jazwares has all your wrestling figure news as well as ringside collectibles. So tune in for more details.